Welcome. Today we'll explore how spacesuits protect astronauts in space. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and enjoy. Something is hurtling through space right now, moving faster than a bullet, and it's on a trajectory that has scientists watching closely. It's called Asteroid 2024 YR4, and while it might seem like just another space rock, recent calculations have raised a chilling possibility. This asteroid has a 2.3% chance of colliding with Earth. That might sound small, but when it comes to cosmic threats, even a fraction of a percent is enough to trigger global concern. After all, it only takes one impact to change everything. But what would really happen if 2024 YR4 struck our planet? Would it be a harmless fireball burning up in the atmosphere? Or could it unleash devastation on a scale we can barely comprehend? Scientists have been running simulations, and the results are both fascinating and terrifying. Depending on where it hits, the consequences could range from a massive explosion over an uninhabited region to a city-leveling catastrophe, or worse, a tsunami that could devastate coastal populations around the world. Right now, telescopes across the globe are tracking its every move, updating its projected path with each new observation. But here's the unsettling part. Asteroids don't always behave the way we expect them to. Tiny factors, like the sun's heat causing one side to push off more energy than the other, could slightly alter its course, meaning the danger isn't fully ruled out just yet. So, how did we even find this asteroid? What happens if it does impact Earth? And most importantly, are we prepared for an event like this? The answers might surprise you, and they might just change the way you think about our planet's place in the cosmos. In late 2024, astronomers scanning the sky for near-Earth objects made a startling discovery. A new asteroid, later named 2024 YR4, appeared in their data, a space rock moving at over 60,000 miles per hour on a trajectory that, disturbingly, brought it closer to Earth than expected. At first, it seemed like just another routine detection. After all, NASA and the European Space Agency track thousands of asteroids every year, most of which pose no real danger. But something about 2024 YR4 stood out. Its orbit wasn't entirely predictable. Tiny shifts in its trajectory suggested that it wasn't moving in a perfectly stable path, a detail that could make all the difference when calculating potential impact scenarios. The more data scientists gathered, the more concerning the picture became. By early 2025, refined models placed its odds of hitting Earth at 2.3%, a number high enough to demand immediate attention. For perspective, most near-Earth asteroids have impact probabilities well below 0.1%. Even the infamous Apophis asteroid, once feared to be on a collision course in 2029, had odds that never exceeded 2.7% before being ruled out. In comparison, 2.3% is an alarming number in the world of planetary defense, not enough to guarantee an impact, but far too high to ignore. So how did we miss this asteroid until now? The answer lies in the vastness of space and the limitations of our detection systems. Most asteroid surveys rely on ground-based telescopes, which can only spot objects in specific portions of the sky. Some asteroids, like 2024 YR4, approach from angles that make them difficult to detect until they're relatively close. If this asteroid had been larger or moving from the sun's direction, we might not have even spotted it in time. Even more unsettling is the fact that 2024 YR4's orbit takes it on a path that crosses Earth's orbit repeatedly, meaning that even if it misses us this time, future encounters are possible. The big question now is, will it collide with Earth? And if it does, what happens next? Asteroid 2024. YR4 isn't just another space rock casually drifting through the cosmos. It's a fast-moving, unpredictable object that has scientists on edge. Moving at over 60,000 miles per hour, this asteroid is traveling faster than a speeding bullet, faster than the fastest jet ever built, and at speeds that could make an impact catastrophic. But what's truly alarming isn't just its speed, it's its trajectory. Imagine you're driving at night on a long, winding road. You see a distant object in your headlights, but you're not sure if it's moving toward you or just passing by. That's exactly the challenge astronomers face when tracking asteroids. At first, it looked like 2024 YR4 would be another close but harmless pass, like so many asteroids before it. But as scientists refined their calculations, they realized something unsettling. This one wasn't behaving as expected. What makes 2024 YR4 so unpredictable? Most asteroids follow relatively stable orbits around the Sun, shaped by gravity and centuries of motion. But tiny forces can push them off course, sometimes by just enough to turn a near miss into a direct hit. One of these forces is called the Yarkovsky effect, a phenomenon where sunlight heats up one side of the asteroid more than the other, causing a tiny but steady push that alters its path over time. This means that even slight changes in temperature, spin, or material composition can cause an asteroid's trajectory to shift unpredictably. And then there's the issue of gravitational keyholes, small regions of space where, if an asteroid passes through at just the right time, Earth's gravity could slightly tweak its orbit, pulling it into a future impact course. 2024 YR4 has multiple potential keyholes ahead, meaning that even if it misses us this time, it could still be set on a collision path years or decades from now. What happens if it enters Earth's atmosphere? The outcome of an asteroid impact depends on three key factors: size, speed, and composition. If 2024 YR4 is made of solid metal, it could punch through the atmosphere almost intact, creating a ground impact with the energy of multiple nuclear bombs. If it's a looser rock or icy composition, it might break apart before reaching the surface, but that doesn't mean we're safe. It could still explode mid-air with the force of a massive detonation, much like the Tunguska event in 1908, which flattened over 800 square miles of forest in Siberia. If an ocean impact occurs, it could trigger a mega tsunami, sending waves hundreds of feet high crashing onto coastlines. If it hits land, it could level an entire city or, in a worst-case scenario, cause global climate effects by throwing dust and debris into the atmosphere, blocking out sunlight, and triggering a temporary impact winter. But here's the real question. Can we stop it? Or are we completely defenseless against an incoming asteroid? That's where things get even more complicated. But here's where things take a terrifying turn. New data suggests that 2024 YR4 isn't behaving like a typical asteroid. In fact, recent calculations show that its trajectory has shifted slightly, making the chances of an Earth impact even higher than previously estimated. Astronomers at NASA and the European Space Agency have been tracking the asteroid's movements for months, using powerful telescopes and radar imaging. Initially, it looked like 2024 YR4 would pass safely within a few million miles of Earth, a close call but nothing to panic about. But then, something unexpected happened. A disturbing change in course in the last few weeks. New observations have revealed a subtle but significant deviation in the asteroid's path. Scientists believe that a gravitational keyhole could pull 2024 YR4 into a direct collision course. If that happens, the asteroid's next approach could be a catastrophic impact. Harvard astrophysicist Dr. Michael Anders explains, "A small change in trajectory now could mean the difference between a harmless flyby and an extinction-level event in the future. The problem is, we're still gathering data, and we won't have a clear answer until it's almost too late." And it gets worse. Some scientists now believe 2224 YR4 may be part of a larger cluster of space debris, a swarm of smaller objects trailing behind it like a cosmic shotgun blast. If that's true, even if the main asteroid misses Earth, we could still be in the path of a deadly barrage of smaller fragments. What happens if it hits? If 2024 YR4 were to strike Earth, the point of impact would determine the scale of destruction. A land impact could wipe out an entire metropolitan area, sending shockwaves across continents. If it crashes into the ocean, the resulting tsunami could devastate coastal cities around the world. But the most terrifying possibility? A high-altitude airburst, where the asteroid explodes in the atmosphere, releasing energy equivalent to hundreds of nuclear bombs. Dr. Lian Chen, a planetary defense expert, warns, a direct impact in a populated area could be catastrophic. We're talking about millions of lives at risk and a climate shift that could last for years. And here's the nightmare scenario. We don't currently have a way to stop it. NASA's DART mission successfully demonstrated asteroid deflection by nudging a smaller space rock off its path. But 2024 YR4 is much larger. Traditional missiles? Useless. Nuclear detonation? Risky at best. We may not have enough time to develop a real solution before impact. But what if there's another way? Scientists are now exploring radical last-minute options, from using solar sails to steer the asteroid away, to deploying massive kinetic impactors in a desperate attempt to change its trajectory. The question remains, will we act in time, or are we staring down a disaster we can't escape? If asteroid 2024 YR4 collides with Earth, the aftermath would be catastrophic. A land impact could flatten entire cities, igniting massive fires and sending debris into the atmosphere, blocking out sunlight and plunging the planet into a temporary impact winter. An ocean strike could trigger tsunamis hundreds of feet high, wiping out coastal populations in minutes. Even a high-altitude airburst could release energy equivalent to multiple nuclear bombs, devastating everything below. So, what can we do? Thankfully, scientists aren't just watching helplessly, they're actively working on planetary defense strategies to prevent such disasters. One of the most promising methods is asteroid deflection. NASA's DART mission proved that a spacecraft could alter an asteroid's trajectory by slamming into it at high speed. If detected early enough, a similar mission could nudge 2024 YR4 off its collision path. Other potential solutions include using a gravity tractor, a spacecraft that hovers near an asteroid, using its gravitational pull to gradually change its orbit over time. In more desperate scenarios, scientists have even considered nuclear detonation near the asteroid to blow it off course. But all these strategies hinge on one critical factor: time. If we detect the threat too late, our options narrow, and Earth's fate could be sealed. This raises a chilling question. Are we truly prepared for the next asteroid threat? Or are we simply hoping we get lucky again? Scientists are watching the skies, refining calculations, and developing new defenses. But what if the next asteroid is already on its way, and we just haven't seen it yet? Asteroid 2024 YR4 is a stark reminder that Earth is not immune to cosmic threats. While scientists work tirelessly to track and prepare for these dangers, the reality is unsettling. What if the next asteroid isn't decades away but much sooner? What if we don't spot it in time? The question remains, are we truly prepared, or are we just waiting for disaster to strike? Let us know what you think in the comments. Should governments invest more in planetary defense, or is it a risk we have no choice but to accept? If you found this video fascinating, you won't want to miss our next one, a deep dive into the biggest asteroid that almost wiped us out. Stay curious, stay prepared, and we'll see you in the next video.